My definition of masculinity.
There's no wrong answers either, so it's like.
I don't even know.
Well, one, masculinity is a prison. Didn't even plan that, did you? See, you didn't even know I had to hat on.
Masculinity is defined as, you know, macho. You have like this kind of like persona, and like in my opinion, it's very skewed. It's very like problematic.
Pretty much the opposite to feminine energy. I think masculinity has been used now as a negative connotation, and like people being hyper masculine or over masculine, or like men not being sensitive as being masculinity. But I think true masculinity is just like balancing feminine energy.
You look at someone and you know that they're confident in themselves. That's how I see it.
What comes to the top of my mind is like dominance and like power.
The overbearing experience of exhibiting like male dominance in certain spaces. So it's not just having the privilege of being a male in a certain space or event or situation, but it's really taking advantage of that.
Five.
Average. Cool.
I'll probably say about a 4 or 5.
A 10.
7.
Interior and exterior, like love for myself is like important to me. So like definitely 10 probably.
Before it was 9, 10.
I feel like if I wasn't an athlete, it'd bump up to like a 7.
It's played a very big role in my life. I think right now it's a lot different than before, but I've had eating disorders. I've had times where I only would eat one thing a day.
Because I want to be personally for myself, be able to look good and feel good, but I don't like need to be perfect.
Like, you know, I understand. I feel like most people don't, but like I understand that like we all look different. There's different shapes and sizes, and like as cliched as it is, everyone's beautiful.
It shouldn't really matter. If you feel happy with yourself, then that should be fine. So I can't really rate it in a scale. Just if you feel happy with your image and all that, then that should be good enough.
I think soccer has made me like go to the gym and get actually stronger.
It has helped a lot.
My mental health due to, a lot of releases of endorphins or something, whatever else is labeled as.
Because I eat like crap, honestly. So with exercise and all that, it has helped a lot.
Honestly, I think it's influenced it drastically from a physical aspect in terms of my health. I'm running, I'm getting my cardio in, my heart rate up. So it's really good in that.
It's a pretty physical sport. I'm not really super into bodybuilding in that way, besides being strong for soccer.
But then there's all these other layers to it, like my emotional health, could take a hindrance because of, getting the play, getting, kind of like reprimanded for mistakes, and with this game, there are a lot of mistakes.
Oh, it's definitely that's where I exhibit my masculinity the most. I'm not that big of a ego trip or a dominant figure. At least I don't try to be.
But there are those really small guys and small girls that are able to play golf and they're on the tour. I think it's a part, but not a big part of it.
Masculinity in sport. Hyper-masculinity in sports is kind of almost synonymous sometimes.
On the court, I definitely exhibit that in full capacity, and I almost pride myself with that. I pride myself with being the best player on the court, the biggest player on the court, the most physical player on the court, and I'm gonna talk trash to you, and I'm gonna like it.
Especially in people love to see an aggressive player, and sometimes coaches use super aggressive language and language that demeans women to empower or most instances are negative influences, but I also think there's positive influences of masculinity in sports like camaraderie and just like being there for your teammate, going as hard as you can, because you know that it's not just about you.
A little bit, yes, because not even a little bit, a lot. Because since we're not seen as like men's player who have a lot of masculinity, a lot of them. So when you look at women's basketball, you don't see us going faster or like jumping higher than everyone else.
I would say I don't know if people came out in the NBA being gay or not, or if there's even any, but I'm pretty sure that there's some like gay people that haven't come out because of this masculine stigma.
We're not as entertaining. I guess I can put it in that way. Yeah, not entertaining as much as the guys.
Does that affect the way you play?
No, not really. No.
And for women's basketball especially, I know, like, kind of like the common thought is, oh, like, all, like, female basketball players are dykes, like, are gay, like, yeah, like, some are, but it's like, then what about to those who aren't? It's like they've also been lumped into this kind of pool of, you know, this is, like, what society thinks, so this is what you become.
Women's athlete, yeah.
I think body image is more important, and I would say male athletes being stronger, looking better, being more defined, being more cut.
For male, I feel like it's just if you're strong enough, fast enough, you're fine. It doesn't really, I guess, I don't know if they really care about how they look. But for women, I know for their body images, they want to. You look good, you feel good, you play good. That's how I'm gonna put it. Yeah.
In a way, honestly, I want to say male athletes because there is a certain dynamic of at least from my experience of seeing certain female college basketball players specifically, there are a lot more of a rounder shape to some females, and it's instead of the typical, you know, what's seen for females is the hourglass figure. A lot of times I've even had female basketball players specifically who don't even focus on that. They much rather be more muscular and things like that, but it's not seen as sexual, and they're not going for a sexual appeal.
You know, female athletes, you can kind of get away with like, oh, like if you're thin or if you have an athletic body, like you're pretty fine. You know, you don't need to be, your arms don't need to be a certain size, your legs don't need to be a certain size. But with males, it's like, well, if I'm a lineman, like I'm supposed to be bigger, like I'm supposed to be bigger than my wide receiver. You know what I mean?